welcome back to Food Prep Guide. We are back in the kitchen today with some more canning tutorials. Today is all about blueberries. I have a lot of blueberries to put up. We're going to break this up into different recipes and break it up into different videos so that it's not too long for you. This video is going to be on blueberry syrup. This comes from the Complete Ball Book of Canning. It is blueberry syrup. It's delicious. And this is a fantastic little canning cookbook. So I'll drop a link down in the description box below if you're interested in that. Okay, let's get started. By the way, if you would like help building your food storage, scroll down to the description box of this video and click this link for our free 1-year food storage plan. We calculated a year's supply of food for one person, then broke that data down into a week-by-week list of items to build your pantry on a budget. We'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all of our upcoming food preservation, pantry storage, and gardening tutorials. Now back to the kitchen. To start, we need 3 quarts of blueberries. My husband is building some shelves right on the other side of this wall, so if y'all hear any weird noises, that's what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 cups of water in here so that those blueberries don't scorch. And that's what the recipe calls for, by the way, is 2 cups of water. 2 cups of water, 3 quarts of blueberries. Quart number 2. And quart number 3. Now we're just going to bring this pot of blueberries up to a boil. We'll be back for the next step. Our blueberries are boiling, so now we need to mash them. I'm going to be using my just potato masher that I would use for like mashed potatoes. And we need to crush these berries pretty good and crushed. Let me turn down the heat a little bit. That steam is really hot. I'm going to pull it off the heat while I do this too. Okay, our blueberries are good and crushed now. So I'm going to put it back on the heat and we're going to lower it to a simmer and let this simmer for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Our 12 minutes are up, and so for this next step we need to transfer the contents of the pot into some sort of way to strain the juice out. You can use either cheesecloth, or this is like an old nut milk bag that I use. It looks a little dirty, but I promise it's not. It's about 5 or 6 years old and it is terribly stained, but it does the job well. So I'm just going to put this in here. My nut milk bag doesn't have a big enough opening to just lift the pot and pour it in. But if whatever you're choosing to strain with is big enough to just pick up the pot and pour it in, that would be more efficient. For this next step, we need to strain our blueberries, and to do that we're going to put our bag up and hang it somewhere where we can just, I'm going to be doing it on one of my cabinet knobs, but anywhere where you can hang the bag over a bowl to catch the drippings, because all we need is the juice. We don't need the pulp, but we're not going to waste the pulp. We're going to use the pulp to make a blueberry butter later on, and I will link that video above whenever it's ready. So for this step, I'm just going to take my strings of my nut milk bag here, cinch it together, and very carefully line up my bowl to where it catches all the syrup, all the juice. Okay, so right now we have a steady stream of juice pouring out, but as the juice gets less and less, it's going to not be pouring out as much and it's going to need a little bit of help. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be about an hour-long process. And about every 20 minutes or so, I'm going to come and check. And if I don't have a steady stream of juice pouring out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bag and start twisting it and gathering it like that, which is just putting more pressure on the pulp and helping that to squeeze out. And I'm going to take like this chip clip thing that you would use just to seal some chip bags, and I'm going to keep that there and hold that there. It's going to come undone, but it's still going to stay pinched right here. And every 20 minutes or so, I'm going to come and I'm going to move my chip clip down so it's putting more weight on that pulp, and so it's squeezing more out. So like I said, this is about an hour-long process. We want to squeeze out as much of that juice as possible, and we'll be back when we have all the juice that we need. So we are moving on to the next step of our blueberry syrup recipe. Our pulp and juice is just about done straining, and I ended up with double the amount of liquid, so I'm going to double the recipe. So we need 5 cups of sugar. To that, we will add 2 cups of water. Oh, there's a bay leaf in there. I store my sugar with bay leaves to keep the pests out. If you are interested in storing sugar for long term, we have a whole video on that, so I'll link that above. Okay, we're going to give this a good mix. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Now that this sugar water has come to a boil, we're going to take the lid off and boil it for 20 minutes uncovered. The 20 minutes are up, so now it's time to add our blueberry juice. Give that a good stir. Next, we need to add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And this is pure lemon juice, not from concentrate. Now we're going to let this return to a boil, which I think it's probably still going to be at a boil. Let's check and see. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to lower this to a simmer and simmer uncovered for 5 minutes. Our 5 minutes are up, so now we need to take this off the heat. I have already moved this over to my counter, and you can see there is foam kind of all throughout there. So what we need to do is we need to skim off that foam. So I just have a big spoon here, and I'm just going to go through and very lightly and gently skim my spoon off the surface and just place it in a little extra bowl here. We've skimmed off the foam, so now it's time to fill up our jars to a 1/4 inch headspace. Next step is to debubble. Next, we need to wipe our rims with a damp, wet towel. It's always important to wipe our rims, but when we're working with something sticky, like jams and jellies, it is extra important to wipe them really well. And I always make sure I fold over after every jar when I'm doing jams and jellies. Sometimes you can't really see the stickiness on there, but it's there. Next step is to place clean and new lids and rings. The rings don't have to be new, but the lids do. And we will put the rings on to fingertip tight, which means we're not going to crank it down really hard. And into the canner they go. I'm going to double check to make sure the water or my jars are completely submerged by at least an inch of water, and they are. So I'm going to turn this up to high heat, place my lid. We're going to wait until this water comes up to a hard rolling boil before we start our processing time, and these need to water bath for 10 minutes. Remember to adjust for your elevation. Our 10 minutes are up. And here is our delicious homemade blueberry syrup. This is a fantastic alternative to maple syrup for pancakes when you just want a little something different, but it is also a fantastic way to flavor oatmeal and yogurt. We have an entire video on what to do post-canning with your jars, and I will link that above. We'll see y'all next time. Hope y'all enjoy. Bye.